a pirate game inspired by Valheim, and 2 new exceptional monsters to hunt in Monster Hunter Wilds. This and more in this week's co-op and multiplayer gaming news. If you have an equal love for survival games like Enshrouded or Valheim on one side, and pirate and naval combat as in Assassin's Creed Black Flag on the other, Crosswind might be the genre mix you were waiting for, as those games were a big inspiration. Crosswind is currently still in alpha state, with playtest signups open on Steam, but it already looks very interesting. It's a procedural open world with exploration on both land and sea. There is the genre-typical gathering, building and crafting, but also sea combat and sailing content with different ship models, of course. You've got the beloved cannon blasting, but also boarding actions. There's also an action combat system, which they say will be Souls-like, with parrying and dodging. Besides the co-op for up to 4 players, there is also PvP. But it will be fully optional. There will be a PvE story arc to follow, inspired by historic pirates of the 1700s, mixed with some mysterious supernatural elements. The progression is planned to work similar to Valheim, where you explore different biomes, gather the resources there, beat a distinct boss, and then move on to the next one. Every player has their own world, with dozens of procedurally generated islands that you can build your bases on. That also means that you do not need to worry about them being raided or destroyed by others. There will also be various zones that are shared. This is also where part of the PvE happens, like player trading. There will be special zones that allow PvP, but again, Crosswind does not want to force any of that on their players. If you don't want to, you don't have to. They promise a rich endgame with a variety of activities for both solo and group players, PvE and PvP alike. But so far, we haven't seen much. Though, one great promise for endgame and all you guys that suffer in survival crafting games is the fact that you will be able to automate mundane tasks like wood chopping in your base, after unlocking NPC workers. The game already has the tag free to play on Steam for now, and it will be a live service game. That's all we know about it for now. And if this is not quite what you were waiting for, there are at least 2 more interesting pirate and sailing games coming up, Sea of Remnants and Ahoy, which we talked about a bit in our Summer Games Fest video. On June 30th, it is finally time for Title Update 2 in Monster Hunter Wilds, bringing 2 new monsters, Lagiacrus and Sirigius. Always a pleasure to read these aloud for you guys, by the way. Both are fan favorites, making a return from earlier Monster Hunter generations, and they both look like they will provide a decent challenge. Fights against Lagiacrus even seem to involve underwater battles, which definitely is new and refreshing. Also refreshing will be the limited time hunt for Arc-Tempered Uduna. There will be a new free set of 4 dance gestures and a new paid cosmetic DLC pack. Then, next month, starting on July 23rd, the next seasonal festival of Accord, Flamefed, is starting, bringing back beautiful festive decorations to the hub and probably another series of event quests and unique cosmetic rewards. And then, there's the most random collaboration event we have ever seen, we think, with Fender, the musical instruments company. You can earn a special shredding gesture in an event starting at the end of August. What a time to play games! Oh, and Title Update 3 will follow in late September. No teasers yet though. If you haven't played Wilds yet, maybe due to its premium pricing, now's your time. The game is on a 20% sale. This sale does not apply to Palico Food. This next one is really sad news. The Minecraft-inspired sandbox game Hytale and its developers at Hypixel Studios are shutting down over the next few months, according to a tweet by Hypixel's co-founder. We had been watching Hytale for some years, always waiting for a playtest invite, and it's heartbreaking that now this will never happen. Or will it? Development on Hytale started in 2015, led by a team of devs from the Minecraft multiplayer server Hypixel. They later received funding from Riot Games and were eventually fully acquired by them. Hytale would have featured the block-based building of Minecraft combined with RPG-style combat, dungeons and bosses. It was originally planned to become playable years ago, but was repeatedly delayed, mainly due to a necessary engine migration and major changes in the game's vision. The latest dev updates from spring looked super promising, and we honestly didn't expect this news now. Now though, unfortunately, we won't be able to playtest Hytale. Or will we? Because according to a tweet by Hypixel's founder, he's thinking about buying back the rights for Hytale to continue development independently. So this might not yet be the end. Now onto some news that was so surprising we had to double, if not triple check, if it wasn't a belated April Fool's joke, or just us reading it wrong. RuneScape is changing how they handle microtransactions. Yes, you heard that right. After a new CEO, Mod North, took over at Jagex, the 25-year-old MMORPG wants to go a healthier route with monetization. With a game where microtransactions are honestly a pretty big part, this came out of nowhere. But hey, it's nice to see a company actually look at player surveys and make changes based on that. According to their blog, 42% of players said cash shops hurt their experience. Now, sure, this probably isn't all just goodwill. A shrinking player base and dropping revenue likely play a part, but still, we think it's a step in the right direction for the MMO space. Since RuneScape is free to play, they will need other ways to make money. Starting this July, they are testing a few things out, one after another, including disabling Treasure Hunter, their lootbox system, or making cosmetics free to buy in the trading house. Let's hope Jagex sticks to their word on transparent communications. So maybe RuneScape can make it to that 30th anniversary. We played it a bit years ago, but grindy progression combined with aggressive monetization really weren't that inviting for new players, so we dropped it. As you might have heard, Dune Awakening has had a couple of issues with their PvP-centered endgame since launch, including being killed off by ornithopter dunking and being swarmed by organized guilds and/or cheaters. But Funcom has been quick to address these frustrations with a patch that expanded the Deep Desert Zone's PvE area, balancing ornithopters and more. Base building, survival and ARPG game The Riftbreaker has launched their 2.0 update as an open beta, which introduces a free upgrade with online co-op for up to 4 players. Anyone owning the game can now sign up to play with friends through the entire campaign. We didn't really have this one on our radar until now, but this mix of mecha suits and base building is definitely worth keeping an eye on. Another game has added an online co-op mode for 4 players, Haste, a third-person running game where you have to race through different worlds using movement abilities and items. You can play the entire game together with cooperative and slightly competitive segments, follow the story and unlock skins for your character. Fortnite now has a new map called Squid Grounds, a crossover with Squid Game, bringing some familiar locations from the Netflix series to the game, like the Labyrinth, complete with a chance to play a round of red light, green light, at your own risk, naturally. You can get some matching cosmetics and other in-game items. The Hunter Call of the Wild always looked so interesting to us, but I have always held back because hunting games aren't really my thing, ethically seen. But their latest DLC really is calling my name. In the Alberta Hunting Preserve, you roam the beautiful Canadian wilderness with different animals and visit real landscapes. I researched and found out you can play this like a pacifist National Geographic photographer, going around to snap great pictures of elk, deer and those cute little beavers. Adorable! The mischievous, bunny-like Smolker rascals have raided your Aska base one too many times. But that ends now. With the newly released 7th major update, you can finally tame them and turn them into livestock. Once domesticated, Smolkers provide meat, bones, leather scraps, and a brand new resource, Smilk, essential for cheese production. This update also brings a complete overhaul to hunting mechanics, area desirability mechanics, and a ton of quality of life improvements and bug fixes. In preparation for The Beast coming out this August, Techland is handing out some extras for old and new players of Dying Light. DL1 has received a graphical remaster with sharper textures without putting more load on your machines, and a soundtrack remaster too. DL2 has a crossover event with Balatro, including an exclusive cosmetic and dagger with fun Joker mechanics, causing random effects. But that's all for this hot summer week. We wish you a ton of fun in co-op or out in the sun with your favorite people, and we will see you again in the next one.